Famous souls, spiritual awakenings of icons. We all know them, don't we? We see their faces on our screens, hear their voices, celebrate their incredible talent, and marvel at the success they've achieved. But behind that dazzling spotlight, some of the world's most iconic people have walked a path less seen, a journey inward, an awakening of the soul. Today we're going to pull back the curtain and explore the profound spiritual transformations of 5 remarkable individuals. Their stories are powerful, they are moving, and my hope is that they might just light a spark in your own life, inspiring you to look deeper within. A spiritual awakening isn't just a fleeting feeling or a single aha moment, though those can certainly be part of it. It's a fundamental shift in consciousness, a profound expansion of your awareness. Chapter 1. Jim Carrey, The Laughter and the Light Within. Now, let's talk about someone many of us associate with boundless energy and infectious laughter. Jim Carrey. For years, he was the face of comedy, a master of physical humor and unforgettable characters that brought joy to millions. His ability to contort his face and body to create these larger-than-life personas was unparalleled. We saw the success, the fame, the seemingly endless stream of creativity. But beneath that vibrant exterior, a deeper current was stirring. He once shared, "I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that it's not the answer." Imagine reaching the pinnacle of what the world defines as success, only to find that the fulfillment you sought, the peace you craved, isn't there. For Jim, this wasn't just a philosophical musing. He openly spoke about his own struggles with depression, a shadow that can touch anyone, regardless of their external circumstances. And it was in navigating this darkness, this inner turmoil, that Jim began to turn his gaze inward. He immersed himself in the world of spirituality, exploring different paths and wisdom traditions. He discovered the teachings of Eckhart Tolle, whose work on presence and the dismantling of the ego has touched so many lives. Jim began to embrace practices like mindfulness, learning to observe his thoughts without judgment, to find stillness amidst the noise. This wasn't about adopting a new persona, it was about shedding the old ones. His awakening became a new kind of message, one he began to share with the world. He started speaking about consciousness, about the nature of the ego, about the illusion of separation and the path to enlightenment. Jim Carrey, the man who made us laugh until our sides ached, began to invite us into a different kind of experience, an exploration of the inner landscape. He showed us that the search for meaning can be as compelling, if not more so, than the search for fame or fortune. His words began to carry a different weight, a different resonance. Jim's journey shows us that even in the midst of global fame, the most important discoveries are often made in the sanctuary of one's own heart and mind. Chapter 2, Oprah Winfrey, my own journey to SuperSoul. For years, through the Oprah Winfrey Show, I connected with people from all walks of life, hearing their stories of triumph and tribulation. I began to see a common thread, a yearning for something more, something deeper. My own personal transformation, the growth that has allowed me to live a life beyond my wildest dreams, I credit to my spiritual journey. It hasn't always been a straight line, but it has been the anchor, the guiding light that has helped me navigate life. One of the most profound lessons I've learned is the incredible power of presence, of truly being in the now. This deep-seated belief in the importance of spiritual exploration is what led me to create SuperSoul Sunday. It was born from a desire to share the voices and wisdom of spiritual thinkers with a wider audience. Now, let's turn to a man whose words have been a guiding light for millions on their spiritual journeys, including myself and, as we heard, Jim Carrey. That man is Eckhart Tolle. But what many may not realize is that Eckhart wasn't always the serene spiritual teacher we know today. His path to awakening was in fact paved with profound personal suffering. For most of his early life, Eckhart battled intense anxiety and periods of deep suicidal depression. He described it as living with a constant sense of dread, a feeling of being burdened by a heavy eye that he couldn't shake. Then one night, shortly after his 29th birthday, something extraordinary happened. He was in the depths of despair, feeling an almost unbearable inner turmoil. And in that moment of crisis, a thought arose with incredible intensity. I cannot live with myself any longer. This thought kept repeating in his mind, and then, Suddenly he became aware of the strangeness of that thought. If I cannot live with myself, does that mean there are two of me? The I and the self that I cannot live with? Who is the I and who is the self? In that moment of profound questioning, something shifted. He describes it as his consciousness withdrawing from its identification with the unhappy, suffering self, the egoic mind. The self that he could not live with, that constructed, pain-ridden identity, collapsed. What remained was his true nature, his essential being, unburdened by the stories and the suffering that the mind had created. It was a spontaneous and radical dissolution of the ego. What followed this inner implosion was not chaos, but a profound and abiding stillness. He woke up the next morning and everything felt peaceful. The anxiety, the dread, the depression, it was all gone. The world around him seemed vibrant, alive, and intensely beautiful, as if he was seeing it for the first time. This was the dawn of his spiritual awakening. Our next story of transformation is one of incredible resilience and a very public journey from the depths of addiction to a profound state of spiritual awareness. I'm talking about Russellbrand. Many first came to know him for his flamboyant personality, his outrageous comedy, and a lifestyle that often made headlines for its excesses. He was the epitome of a rock and roll comedian, living life on the edge, seemingly without a care. But behind the bravado and the often controversial public persona, Russell was battling significant personal demons. He has spoken with incredible candor and vulnerability about his struggles with drug addiction, alcoholism, sex addiction, and the relentless pursuit of fame and external validation. He was caught in a cycle of seeking pleasure and escaping pain, a cycle that so many who struggle with addiction know all too well. The turning point for Russell, as it often is for those facing addiction, was hitting a rock bottom. It was a realization that the path he was on was leading to destruction, not just of his career, but of his very self. This crisis became the catalyst for a profound shift. He made the courageous decision to get sober and to embark on a journey of recovery, a journey that would lead him to explore spiritual paths as a means of healing and finding a new way to live. He immersed himself in practices like yoga and transcendental meditation, disciplines known for their ability to quiet the mind, reduce stress, and foster a deeper connection to oneself. He began to read spiritual texts, to explore different philosophies, and to seek out wisdom from teachers who could guide him on this new path. This wasn't just about abstaining from substances, it was about a fundamental rewiring of his inner world, a search for meaning beyond the superficial trappings of fame. What is so remarkable about Russellbrand's journey is how openly he has shared it. He didn't shy away from discussing his past mistakes or the challenges of recovery. Instead, he used his platform, his powerful voice, and his sharp intellect to talk about these deeply personal experiences. He transformed his pain into a message of hope and possibility for others who might be struggling. And finally, we turn to a voice that has resonated through generations, a woman whose words were imbued with a profound spiritual depth and an unshakable wisdom. The legendary Dr. Maya Angelou. Her life was a testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity and find light even in the darkest times. Her spiritual core was the foundation of her extraordinary contributions to the world. Dr. Angelou spoke about faith as a deep trust in a benevolent universe and the divine spark within each of us. She understood forgiveness as a liberation for oneself. Her deep spirituality was her unwavering anchor and guiding star. Her early life was marked by profound trauma, including sexual abuse and racism. Yet, she alchemized her pain into power and her suffering into strength. Her poetry, autobiographies, and speeches carried the resonance of a spirit that emerged into a profound light. She didn't just tell stories, she shared her soul, giving others permission to heal their own. She taught us about the power of words, courage, compassion, and justice. So, as we reflect on these incredible journeys, Jim Carrey, My Own Path, Eckhart Tolle, Russellbrand, and the incomparable Maya Angelou, what is the common thread that weaves through their stories? It's this: they all, in their own unique ways, looked within. They didn't shy away from the darkness, from the pain, from the questions. Instead, they faced it. They explored it, and ultimately they chose a path of light, a path of deeper understanding. A spiritual awakening doesn't magically erase pain or difficulty from life, but what it does is reveal purpose. It infuses our experiences with meaning. And whether you're rich or poor, famous or unknown, outspoken or quiet, this journey inward is an invitation that is extended to every single one of us. You see, you don't have to be a household name or have a global platform to experience your own awakening. It doesn't require a special set of circumstances. What it requires is a willingness,